G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you're having a fantastic day, and with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the Barbie, and let's get right into it. Posted by user Cloudchild, titled, Am I the asshole for telling my mother I don't want her at my wedding? I, 21 female, am getting married to my fiancé next week. My fiancé, 23 male, let's call him Wesley. My mother since I was a child has had severe OCD, which came along with being a huge germaphobe, such as making me wash my hands and feet 3 times with a Dove soap bar, nothing else or they're not clean, any time I got into the house, like water, soap, lather and rinse 3 times in a row in front of her. Even if I just stepped outside for a second, you had to wash. Understandably, it is a bit of a pain, but I love her and she can't help her condition. Another thing, at 11 p.m. every night she has to walk around the house and flick each light switch 10 times, and then disinfect each and every switch because she touched them. She's been very accepting of Wesley, and treated him like he was her own son, cooked for him, let him stay, and generally is just lovely. When I told him about the washing hands and feet thing, he was also very understanding and applied the method. Last year, I told my mother about the wedding, and she was very happy in the beginning. Up until after we started making preparations, she started telling me what to do. For instance, for the venue, me and Wesley planned to go to this beautiful place that had ruins of a castle next to the sea during the summer. We had only an hour slot for the ceremony, to which after we would have to be moving to a hotel to have a meal and a dance. My mother advised me to change the venue because she didn't like the fact that we chose somewhere outside for the ceremony because no one would be clean. I argued that it's what we wanted and that it's our wedding, not hers. She then went silent about it for the following time after that and never mentioned it. When choosing my wedding dress, I invited her along and she argued with me that other people have been in them so they're not clean, and then forced me to not even wear the wedding dresses, just to have the assistant hold them up in front of me. My wedding is now next week, and yesterday my mother called me and asked for me to change the venue as there will be no sinks so people could wash their hands and feet. To which I replied, I'm not having over 70 guests individually wash their hands and feet 3 times. Especially with the slot that we have, it would take a huge chunk of everything. She started yelling at me that everything will go wrong, and that she's disappointed in me because I should know the rules. I refused to change my venue, as it would be difficult to find another in such a short time, and me and Wesley have wanted this place for a while. She told me she will sort something out, and a few hours ago, she sent me a screenshot from eBay of someone selling 5 tanks of water from the little water dispenser things that you would usually find in an office, and a box full of Dove soap from her cupboard. I rang her up to inform her that I think it's best if she didn't attend, as the wishes she wants are impacting my wedding. She ended the call without saying anything, and then posted on Facebook that I was no daughter of hers, and that I didn't love her. Am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole, OP. I think that you're just between a rock and a hard place, and unfortunately you cannot give in to the demands of your mother, and with that being said, it's probably best that she don't attend the wedding. I don't think you're an asshole for not enabling these destructive attitudes caused by her OCD. I think it's a very unfortunate thing that has to happen, but I think for everyone's sanity, it's best that you continue on the path that you're going down. Not the asshole. In the comments, Joe0306 says, Not the asshole at all. You cannot ask guests to buy into this. A friend of mine has a daughter with quite extreme OCD. She always told me that when they do things like exposure therapy, you were told not to enable the behavior. I know you love your mum, but you need to stop doing the hand and feet washing. You aren't helping as much as you may want to. Does your mum have any professional help to manage this? If not, please look at getting her some help. OP replies, She hasn't ever had help, and has refused it after me and my father recommended it for her. She just shrugged it off multiple times and said that it was basic hygiene. After this, we're looking at whether she likes it or not, because it's ruining her mental health. There are 4 rules in abnormal behavior, and deviating from social norms is one of them. Causing herself and others distress is another, a third is dysfunction, which means it disrupts her life. The 4th D is dangerous, and she's probably okay on that. So she has 3 out of 4 signs of abnormal psychological behavior. Also, I have OCD. It's her responsibility to treat it. If she refuses to believe she has a problem, it will be most helpful to her if you insist she get help. There are medications now. Look up fluvoxamine that help. It's not her fault that she has OCD. It is her fault that she isn't treating it. I'm sorry you have to go through this, and I hope you have a lovely wedding. Not the asshole. Your mum has an extreme case of OCD and should consider getting some help. I'm with you. She could have had help years ago to help her OCD, which I believe is a form of mental illness. There is medication and therapy. OP, not the asshole. Yes, OCD is a mental illness. I was diagnosed as a teenager with it and can say that yes, she is a bad case of it. Everything listed here are things that she needs to do, but at the same time, she needs to know herself enough to realize she needs help. I'm currently looking into texture therapies to help with the panic with certain textures on my skin that cause panic attacks. OCD is tough and will affect literally every part of your life if you let it. OP, not the asshole. But your mama needs help. The stress she feels when she can't do her routine is mind-blowing, but that doesn't mean the world caters to her because of it. And now, onto the update. Hi everyone. Hopefully you've seen my original post. You might find it on my profile. Here is the update to those who wanted it. The wedding was yesterday. I absolutely had the best time of my life and have made the best memories. I took people's advice, and I had told my friends, bridesmaids and maid of honor, about the situation, to which they helped me create a Zoom link that one of my friends would host for her to watch. I sent her this link early in the morning so she could see it in time for the ceremony at 5 p.m. She left this on read. She never attended the call. We noticed 6 of 7 people had cancelled last minute, to which when they were questioned by other people who knew them as to why, they replied saying they wouldn't want to watch me get married due to how I treated my mother, influenced by my mother's out-of-context Facebook post. After the ceremony, we went to the hotel as planned, and then during the dance, one of my mum's friends pulled me aside and asked as to why I was so disrespectful to my mother. From this, I felt extremely guilty, but I explained my side of the story, which she didn't believe. So she then left early and whispered things to other people who noticeably left earlier. Around 3 left due to her gossip. During the night, I sent her photos of which people who attended took and what I took. Of little family photos and me at the altar, walking down the aisle, a photo of Wesley crying when seeing me in a wedding dress. She left these on read. Highlight of my night was my dad telling me my mother tried to give a wedding gift, but he checked what was in the box before he came, and it was a bar of Dove soap, so he just left it at home. Made me chuckle a bit. After the wedding, me and Wesley stayed a night in the hotel we had the party and meal in, and I received a text from my maid of honor of a screenshot of a Facebook post my mother had made, a quote she posted, I've attached. Then, when I go to check this Facebook post, I see she has blocked me off Facebook, so that I couldn't even see her profile anymore. This was the final straw, so I texted her a long paragraph, basically saying how I love her, but she needs psychiatric help and therapy/meds. I also said how the Facebook posts were unnecessary when we both know I retracted the invite as I was looking out for her, not because I didn't love her. Additionally, I said whether she realized it or not, she was losing me as a daughter, and it didn't have to be like this. I also said it is now her choice to take the help she needs or not, because I can't force her to improve her own mentality. She has left this on read too. This situation has been taken way too far, but I can't and will not enable and feed into her compulsions and obsessions anymore. I love her, but I can't take this behavior anymore. Thank you for your support. I am very grateful for all the advice. I have had a great wedding and felt like a princess. You're all so sweet. Thank you. In the comments, out of curiosity, do your mother's friends know about her stuff? Like, do they have to go through the triple washing, or do they never meet in person? Or is she actually able to avoid inflicting this on people other than you? No scenario reflects well on your mother and/or her friends, because either your mother is capable of not being that disruptive and chooses not to give you that courtesy, or her friends are comfortable just buying into her mental illness and expecting everyone else to bend their lives out of shape for her. This is my first thought. Anyone close to her should be aware of these compulsions. I worked with someone with OCD, and it was obvious after getting close to her. I don't know how someone can be a friend and not see these compulsions. OP replies, "Hi. They know she has OCD, but not the triple wash as they've never come inside our home. Basically, they don't really know of any of her behaviors and obsessions. She doesn't really get many visitors that are her friends due to where she lives being so far into the countryside. They really pity her for her OCD. So when she made that Facebook post about me not inviting her and how I didn't love her, her friends automatically assumed I was a horrible person and defended her. Maybe suggest that they pay her a surprise visit at her house. Entertaining guests really helps take her mind off things and gives her emotional support." Oh, OP, I read your original post and I'm so glad that you've updated us. You were totally in the right to uninvite her to your wedding, because what she wanted is quite frankly unhinged. I hope she can look at herself, reflect, and see that she needs therapy. I am so glad that you had a wonderful day and a beautiful moment with your husband. Let your mum sulk. Congratulations. I'm so glad you had a great wedding, and I'm so sorry that your mother is so far gone in her disorder that she can't see that she needs help. It's sad that she couldn't attend, but you are absolutely validated in not having her there. It would likely have turned into a chaotic nightmare for you all. Honestly, it's hard not to agree with that. I think it's for the best that the mother didn't attend the wedding, and if she were to attend, I think she might have ruined, or most likely, would have ruined the day for OP. But at the same time, the friends would have seen just how bad the OCD is in person. So kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. But I'm happy that OP had such an amazing wedding. Congratulations. I'd love to know what you guys think of this one down in the comments below. Our next post is by user mpage0311, titled, "I do not want to be with my husband anymore, but I'm not strong enough to tell him." First time posting, so I apologize for any errors. My, female 31, husband, male 40, have been together for almost 9 years, married for 3. When we first got together, everything was great. We were always doing something, always together, we were happy. Ever since we've been married, and if I'm being honest, even before that, I have not been happy. We are complete opposites, and that used to be okay. Over the years, though, I have started to resent him for how he is. We went from spending all of our time together to no time at all. You see, he's very much into video games. If he is not at work, then he is gaming. When he first started gaming, I was okay with it, as I do know everyone needs a hobby or an outlet. Pretty soon, though, it became an obsession. I solely take care of all things related to our home and his child. I pay all bills, excluding our car insurance. I pay all expenses related to his daughter, who does live with us full-time until she graduates. I've tried time and time again to get him to see that I cannot do everything alone and that I should not have to. He tells me he will do better, and he does for a week or so, and then we are back into the routine that we were before. I am so mentally exhausted that I feel I just cannot be in this relationship any longer. I did try and leave 2 years ago because I did hit a breaking point like I am now. He didn't take it well and stated that he was going to harm himself. His manipulation worked, and I stayed. I have regretted that every day. Friends and family have been telling me for a long while now that I need to leave. I'm still young and I can start over. I just don't think that I'm strong enough. How does one get the strength to do something they know they need to do? My stepdaughter, female 16, is one of my best friends. She is an amazing kid, and I really cannot imagine her not in my life. She knows I have been unhappy. She makes comments to me constantly about her father's behavior. She's always telling him that he needs to do better. It doesn't make a difference, but I wish it did. My husband is not a bad person. He is not mean, he does not yell, he is not rude. I do love him, but not the way one is supposed to when they are married. I do not want to resent him any longer, but that is all I feel when I look at him. It makes me feel so horrible having those feelings. I know if I try and leave again, he will threaten to harm himself once more, and I just do not think I'm strong enough to not put that blame on myself. I wish I was. I wish that more than anything. How does one get the strength to do what in their heart they know they need to do? My unprofessional and unsolicited advice is just do it. Anyone that threatens to harm themselves if you leave the relationship is a sad and pathetic person. File for divorce, cut that person off, only talk through lawyers, and if they do it, that's on them. That's not your fault. I understand that you are not strong enough to do that, but it seems as though it is necessary in this situation. Anyway, in the comments, Mango Serpent says, "Last time you were not prepared for the manipulation, this time you are. That is the difference. None of it will be easy. Maybe plan differently. Reach out to family and friends near to get some support and help. See if there are support or counseling services nearby. And keep in contact with your stepdaughter and let her know that the door is always open. He probably won't even notice if she visits you all the time, and she's almost legally an adult anyway. I would talk to a divorce lawyer before you do anything. They will help you understand what is needed to protect yourself should you divorce. It also wouldn't be a bad idea to talk this through with a therapist. Both of these things will make you feel like you were taking action and doing something without the pressure of actually having to confront your husband. Plan, get ready, mentally prepare, and then maybe you'll find the strength to do what you need to do. You can't live life waiting until something feels easy enough to do. Just do it. You're waiting for things to get worse so that it's easier to leave. That's not good for you or your husband. Realize the loving thing to do is to leave before you hate each other, without waiting for the relationship to get to the point where you care about each other so little that leaving is easy." And OP replies, "You are right. For me, it's just trying to get the courage to do what I know I need to do. I understand that it's not an excuse at all, but it's just how I feel. This is your life. Do you want decades and decades of this until you die? Think about all the things you want to do. Do you want kids? Do you want to travel? Think about how staying with him affects those things. Imagine finally reaching your limit, but it's too late to do those things. How resentful and bitter you will feel. You can't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. You are worth more than kindling. You deserve more. Don't give in to his manipulation. If he hurts himself, that's not your fault. And maybe then he'll get the help that he needs to handle his emotions." OP replies, "The thought of being in this cycle for the rest of my life makes me physically ill." And now, on to the update. Well, I did it. I asked for a divorce. He reacted how I knew he would and threatened self-harm. I ended up contacting the police when he stormed out of the house and started texting me his goodbyes. The police were able to locate him a few hours later and get him to the hospital for some much-needed help. He was released 2 days ago, and we were finally able to have a conversation like adults. He decided we will be separating indefinitely. He will be heading to stay with his dad for a few months, and then possibly moving back to our hometown to stay with his brother and be closer to his daughter. All in all, everything has worked out okay considering where it started. In the comments, Yin and Yas says, "It seems like you're seeking permission and leaving it open-ended. I asked for divorce rather than indicating you will be filing for a divorce. Separating indefinitely rather than permanently. It still seems to me like you're leaving a window open and you should shut it. OP, please listen to this. It's a really good first step, but you cannot allow him back in. In 2 years, your stepdaughter will be a legal adult and can come visit you of her own volition, so don't let her get used as a tactic against you to keep you shackled either. Good OP that you found the courage to leave this relationship. I'm glad you took the advice and called the police to help him. Now's the time for you to work on you. Go to therapy, get stronger and healthy, and then you can make the best choices for you going forward. Take the time to heal now, before you make any other decisions about the future. Hope you find healing and a good future for yourself, OP. Sending hugs." Indefinitely or permanently. Time to really define your separation. You may need to also look at the language you're using, especially the asked for a divorce statement. You didn't ask for permission, you're an adult and recognized it was time to end your marriage. Language matters. I highly recommend you go to therapy. When I ended things with my manipulative ex, he tried everything he could to get back in. He really thought that I would be having him house sit on the weekends when I was away. My narcissist addict husband. Oh, okay, sure. They really will do anything to get their way, and he's had you raising his daughter and caring for his needs for nearly a decade. Be prepared for massive manipulation and shut it down. Anything he does will never be your fault, ever. Those are his choices fully. Do not put his choices on your shoulders or feel guilt over his actions. There is no need to communicate with him at all, other than arranging to transfer his belongings. Mediation can be handled through attorneys. Keep any conversations to text, even regarding his daughter. Her relationship with you is separate from him. He doesn't need to be involved in that. And yeah, honestly, I do hope the best for you moving forward, OP. I do hope that there is another update in the future where things are resolved and he is completely out of your life. But as for now, that remains to be seen. Anyway, guys, I would love to know what you think of this one down in the comments below. Let me know. Our next post is titled, Am I the asshole for silencing my girlfriend? I, male 28, have been dating my girlfriend Nancy, female 25, for about 2 months now. We met on a blind date that our friends set us up on and have been seeing each other relatively regularly since then. I'm not entirely sure if we're officially boyfriend-girlfriend, but Nancy seems to think so. Nancy describes herself as a bit of a mean girl. I honestly thought that she was joking for a while, as she's typically quite nice. However, she has an awful tendency to insult people based primarily on their appearance. These insults can happen anywhere and anytime, and can be targeted at literally anyone. Of course, she has never said these things about the person right in front of them, though. The other day, I invited Nancy to a family friends event that we were having. My mother's friend Sarah had just gotten out of hospital for cancer. Sarah's family and my family are very close. I've known them since I was born and consider them to be extended family. Due to cancer and chemotherapy, Sarah no longer has hair and is very thin. Once Nancy saw her, she started smirking. I literally pleaded with her not to say anything rude, and she agreed, but told me that I was ruining her fun. Fast forward, I'm chatting with my mother, female 55, and sister, female 24. Nancy walks by and says hello. She chats for a bit before starting to make several highly offensive jokes about Sarah and her appearance. I will not repeat anything, but her jokes mainly pertained to baldness and anorexia. My mother and sister looked mortified, and so was I. I literally had my jaw hanging open for a good few seconds. Once I snapped out of it, I firmly told Nancy to stop and that no one found her shitty sense of humor funny except herself. She got upset and said that I was being controlling and misogynistic for trying to silence her. I maintained my position and reaffirmed that her comments were insane. She got even more upset and asked that we leave. I said it would be rude for me to go, as it was still relatively early, and she ended up leaving on her own. Am I the asshole? Honestly, OP, I think you know the answer to this one. She just shamed someone for their appearance after chemotherapy and surviving cancer. I don't know how little shame this person has. I don't know if it can get any worse. I mean, she didn't go and physically assault her, sure, but goddamn, what she did is not acceptable. It's not cool. Your staying with someone like this is definitely an indictment of your character. Let's just say that. Not the asshole for trying to silence her, but maybe you're the asshole for staying with her and allowing this to fester into your home life. I don't know. In the comments, Fartin Scorsese says, not the asshole, but what exactly is the appeal of this awful person? Hot sex? OP replies, even that wasn't that good. Crying laughing emoji. So then what is it? You're dating an awful person for some reason? OP says, she was very good looking, but every time she's done something like this, she has become less so. You do realize you're supporting her behavior, right? Theoretically, she probably acts like this because she's incredibly self-conscious of her own looks, and all of her sense of self-worth is tied into how good she looks. Thus, she mocks others who look worse as a defense mechanism to convince herself that she'll never look that bad. Then if OP breaks up with her for her personality, it'll prove to her her only value is her looks, and that would reinforce her behavior. Not supporting her behavior would look like forcing her to see many therapists for a long time, but that's unrealistic. OP should tell her exactly this. See, you used to be so beautiful, but every time you do this, you become more and more ugly, to the point that you disgust me in every way. Get out of my life and stay there. Cruel, maybe, but maybe making this about her looks a bit will make it very clear to her how repulsive she really is. Not the asshole, but you're the asshole for thinking her mean girl comments were ever okay, for bringing her anywhere in public, and for not dumping her on the spot and throwing her out. Calling someone out on being disgustingly rude is not misogynistic. And making fun of a cancer survivor's appearance is like straight up effing evil. She is not a mean girl. OP, she's a monster. Dump her gross ass and make sure she knows exactly why you're ending things. You will be doing humanity a favor by letting someone like that know their shitty behavior has consequences. You're the asshole if you continue to subject your loved ones to this awful woman. OP replies, I apologized profusely to my mum and sister. They accepted, but my sister told me jokingly that she'll disown me if she ever sees her again. I'm not sure how much of a joke that was. I know I wouldn't want to spend time with someone that was going to bring such an awful person with them. OP says, she said she was joking, but her voice and expression was serious. I would have disowned you already for not breaking up with her by now. And now, onto the update. I was complaining about you-know-who to my friend who introduced us on the phone. He deadass told me that he introduced us on April Fools for a reason. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.